Hey, my name's Jason Creel and you're watching The Lawn Care Life. I want to talk to you about the weed that gets probably more talk than any other weed in my area, and that's crabgrass. I want to show you some crabgrass in this particular lawn, talk to you about some control options, and then I'm going to actually show you what it looks like as a healthy weed, and after I spray it, how long it takes for it to die. Stay tuned. Alright, I've got other videos on crabgrass. Let me start by saying, by far, in my opinion, the easiest and cheapest way to control crabgrass is with a properly timed pre-emergent. Now, for us here in my area in Alabama, you know, we think crabgrass, it germinates based on the soil temperatures, but typically here it's sometime in March, you know, so I try to encourage people, if possible, get your pre-emergent out before then, you know, February or early March. For us lawn care companies, we might do 2 applications, once in January and come back again in March. And a good pre-emergent that you can use that works great on crabgrass is prodiamine. I use a product called Resolute. It has the active ingredient prodiamine, or it's a generic version of the product Barricade. There's others out there. Dimension is another product that will work on crabgrass and actually even control some baby crabgrass. So let's say that you've waited a little late on getting your pre-emergent down, you might want to switch over and use a product called Barricade. But let's say you missed all that and now you've got big crabgrass in your yard, or maybe even little crabgrass in your yard, and you want to know, how do I control it once it's already there? I don't want to wait till wintertime when it goes away and prevent it next year. I want to get rid of it now. Well, let me talk to you about a couple of products and show you the one that I use, my go-to product for crabgrass control, and I'm going to show you just how great it actually works. So in my understanding, the best active ingredient to control crabgrass is an ingredient called quinclorac. So you want to look for a product that contains quinclorac. That's spelled with a Q. Don't ask me to spell the rest of it. But that's the active ingredient, okay? So let's talk about a few products that contain quinclorac. Here, this product's called Drive Accelerate. It has 18% roughly quinclorac in it. There's another product out there called Q4 that a lot of people use, and it's more, you know, not just for crabgrass, it's for a whole bunch of weeds, but it has roughly 8%, 8 point something percent quinclorac. And then there's the product that I like specifically for crabgrass, and it's Solitaire. You know why I like Solitaire for crabgrass? Solitaire comes in different forms. That's the granular form, which is the cheapest form to buy. Solitaire has 56% quinclorac, as well as sulfitrazone, which is good for like sedges, nut sedge, those sort of things, kalingas. All right, now not to insult anybody's intelligence here, but which do you think would work better on crabgrass from a post-emergent standpoint? Would it be Q4, which has 8 point something percent quinclorac? Would it be Drive Accelerate, which has 18% quinclorac? Or would it be Solitaire, which has 56% quinclorac, knowing that quinclorac is what is used to kill the crabgrass? I think we all got the answer right. It's Solitaire. And that has been my own experience too. And you know, and to the credit of Drive Accelerate, that I think they say on the label that, you know, it's better for baby crabgrass or late stage crabgrass, but it's not as good when the crabgrass is in the middle of the summer. Well, sometimes that's the time that you're actually trying to kill it in your lawn. So Solitaire, these products are not cheap, by the way. If you're a homeowner and you're just saying, what's something cheap I can use? Well, they're not cheap, but you know, they come in jugs that would last you for a long time. But for those of us that do weed control for a living, it's part of what we do to keep the lawns looking good. What I'm going to do, I'm going to spray this clump of crabgrass that I've showed you earlier with the Solitaire that I've already told you about, and then we'll check back and see what it looks like in a few days to show you how quickly it works. Okay, here we are, centipede grass, and we've got a big nasty crabgrass right here. You see, this is crabgrass, this is the centipede over here, crabgrass over here. Now let's understand, on all weeds, it's very important to actually identify the weed properly. Sometimes people tell me, I get calls a lot, and they'll say, my yard's full of crabgrass, and it'll be early in the spring, and I'll go out there and I don't see any crabgrass. What I actually see is a whole lot of Dallas grass. Dallas grass is a perennial, crabgrass is an annual. So, you know, if you don't identify the weed properly and you think you have crabgrass, and you might use a product and you may not control it because you're actually spraying the wrong weed. So this is crabgrass here. So in this situation, I got a little 2-gallon sprayer. I'll put a link to this sprayer in the video. It's actually a pretty good, inexpensive sprayer that you can get on Amazon. The Solitaire comes with a handy little measuring cap. You see here 0.73 ounces is the high rate. 0.73 ounces mixed in 1.5 gallons of water. So use a little bit of surfactant to help the product stick to the plant. All right, let's spray the crabgrass. Then you see I just misted over it. Now we'll keep an eye over this and check back with you soon. We're going to get a 24-hour update, so after just 1 day, you can see how quickly the Solitaire begins working. You see the brown spots on the leaves, what I would consider a fairly mature crabgrass plant. So we'll check back and keep an eye on this plant to see how Solitaire works on crabgrass. I'm going to check in on the crabgrass after 3 days and see what it is looking like. You can see all the discoloration of the leaves. Again, I think it's worth mentioning, you know, this was a fairly large crabgrass plant. You can see actually a smaller plant over here, and it's pretty much, you know, done for. Sometimes people like to say that, oh, you killed all the grass. Well, that's really not true. I mean, the centipede grass is here. What happens is the crabgrass grows in bare spots. So it may look like, you know, it's kind of a bare spot in the lawn and not a lot of centipede. That doesn't mean the centipede died. It means there wasn't centipede there, and that gave the crabgrass an opportunity to grow in that spot. Checking in 4 days after treatment here to look at the crabgrass. You can see where the Solitaire, it seems like it burns the leaves up. I'll be interested to see if this larger plant dies or not, or it's obviously severely wounded, and what might happen is after the grass is cut, it may never come back. I'm not exactly sure, but if you look over at the smaller plants, you know, they're basically dead. And you can see this is centipede lawn. There is a slight discoloration in the centipede grass I can see here, you know, so it tolerates Solitaire but doesn't necessarily like it. So I would imagine a Bermuda lawn would hold up a little better, but not bad discoloration on the centipede compared to the results you get for the crabgrass. We'll check back one more time and conclude the video. All right, wrapping up the crabgrass video here. You can see this large crabgrass plant is still not totally dead. It's been 1 week after application. A lot of browning. Will this plant go on to die? I'm not sure, to be honest with you. After the grass is cut, I would expect that it would be severely wounded. It may continue to die, or it may come back and start to recover. Now, compare that with the smaller plant. And you see over here, it does look like these crabgrass plants. The smaller plant, I do think, will die. So, you know, when I applied this, it was during June. This is a fairly mature crabgrass plant over here. I don't have much doubt that if I made a second application, that it would finish off this crabgrass plant. Couple things we can learn from this video. One, like I always say with crabgrass, you know, it's much easier to prevent it than to get rid of it once you have it. So if you can put down a timely pre-emergent application, whether that be with prodiamine, which is what I typically use, or dimension, or pendimethalin, or any of those, are going to be cheaper and do a better job at preventing crabgrass. But if you have crabgrass, you can use Solitaire, Drive, Q4, some of these other products, but Solitaire is my go-to choice. And you can see, if on a mature plant, it may actually take 2 applications, where on a younger plant or an older plant, then it may knock it out in just 1 application. I hope the video has been helpful. Let me hear from you guys. How do you deal with crabgrass from a pre and post emergent standpoint? What did you learn from the video? If you haven't done so, go ahead and subscribe to the channel and click the bell so you can be notified when I create new content. Talk to you later.